Tulsi Gabbard has been one of those people that has been really strong on election integrity. If you tell me, meaning if you, Democratic Party, come out and say that, oh my God, we've been hacked, they've hacked our democracy, whatever that means, and that basically Facebook, Twitter ads somehow represent the toppling of democracy itself. But you conflate it within this notion of hack. And you're talking about the emails and you act like the ballots and the election and all this stuff was like, fine. Let's ensure that our elections are transparent and let's make sure that those are safe. That the person who wins is indeed the person who we vote for. I'm all for that. And Tulsi Gabbard came out with that legislation early on. Applause. No issue. She also came out with legislation recently trying to also push for the notion of more fair, transparent elections with this notion and this idea of eliminating ballot harvesting. Let's hear it.
Hey, everybody. We're getting closer and closer to Election Day now, and it is critical to remember that the strength of our democracy lies in the integrity of our elections, that every one of us has to have faith that our vote will count. But right now, there are still many states in our country that allow for something called ballot harvesting. This is a system that allows for third parties to collect and deliver ballots for other people, potentially large numbers of people. Unfortunately, ballot harvesting has allowed for fraud and abuse to occur by those who could tamper with or discard ballots to try to sway an election for or against a certain candidate or party. Now, our vote is our voice. So whether in the midst of a pandemic, as we are now, where mail-in voting is likely to drastically increase, or even in a normal election, no one should get in between a voter and the ballot box. Now, while some states have prohibited vote harvesting or ballot harvesting, many have not, which again allows for abuse from third parties collecting and mishandling ballots. This is something that we've actually seen happen in recent elections. Now, to protect the integrity of our vote in our elections, I've introduced legislation called the Election Fraud Prevention Act with my friend, Representative Rodney Davis. Our bipartisan bill protects the chain of custody for every one of our ballots by prohibiting funding from going to states that allow this practice of ballot harvesting to occur. This bill will actually encourage states to stop this practice that's ripe for fraud and that poses a serious threat to the integrity of our elections. And we urge our leaders in Congress to take up this legislation quickly to support and ensure the integrity of our elections.
What's wrong with this? Nothing. Now, whether you agree or disagree with her, I guess there's an argument to be made there. But I got to be honest, I'm not sure I entirely agree or disagree with her. But the intent seems straightforward. Nothing should get between a voter and the ballot box. And if that's true, then that also means electronic voting. Because by definition, if I'm writing software, it gets between the voter and the ballot box. Now, there's a caveat there. The whole thing of chain of command, because chain of command means, or chain of custody, as long as I can validate this thing, I have an idea of where it goes. The problem with software is, it's logic, the stuff that can be in it. But beyond that point, what's wrong with this video? Nothing. It's not the video. It's not the video. That's not why I'm saying poor form, Tulsi. It's not that video. Take a look at this one. This is Sean Hannity. In fact, before I show this one, I'm going to say poor form Tulsi. And the reason why I'm saying poor form Tulsi is for something I'm going to explain when we flip over. A video came out. James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, trash organization that typically just does hack attack videos or hack investigation videos, let's call it that. And they did one on this notion of ballot harvesting. And they did one featuring supposedly people connected with Ilhan Omar harvesting ballots. Now, the one thing to know here is it's not illegal, or at the very least, it wasn't illegal to do that. 2, the idea that Ilhan Omar was doing that was not established. It was basically allegations. And the fact that those allegations came from one, Project Veritas, I didn't look at it twice. This is a bullshit organization. This is probably a bullshit video. Millions of others watched it. A lot of right-wingers watched it. Donald Trump even noted it. And again, Project Veritas, which should have given them some level of pause. But of course, it did not. And that Project Veritas video just went up in smoke. Welcome to the Soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. If you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe. You can always support this content through PayPal and Patreon. Like I said, poor form Tulsi, the fact that it was coming from Project Veritas, you should have thought twice. I'm not saying that Tulsi attacked Ilhan Omar. I didn't say that at all. I said poor form Tulsi. And I'll show you what I mean. This is, of course, Sean Hannity, talking head extraordinaire.
The contents of the video, we'll let you look and you can decide.
Numbers don't lie. Wajida gaarigayga waa buuxaa. Waxaas waa absent ballot salka yaala. Soo ma jeedid? Fiiri, waxaas oo dhan soo ma jeedid? Waa buuxaa gaarigayga. Waa buuxaa yaala.
There was video. You can see the video. There was a video out and about that he has the ballots in his car.
Right.
And talking about the only way you can win is with money. I was looking at them and they were not filled. They were blank.
Who is the one filling out the absentee ballots?
People who work with, like Ilhan Omar.
Where do they pay the money?
The minute we sign the thing, the election, that's what you get paid.
Money is everything. Money is the key in this world. If you ain't got money, you should not be here, period.
At the end of this street,
Yes.
there's 3,000.
Now, Sean Hannity, this is the video, right? And this is a longer video. The Project Veritas one. You can see it for yourself. But I wanted to kind of point out that all sorts of people were pointing to this. It wasn't just a bullshit video that nobody saw. Sean Hannity, Donald Trump, and again, all sorts of right-wing media referencing this video. This is the gentleman that's in the video right here. Subject of Project Veritas video fraud story say he was offered a bribe. He was offered a bribe. Let's hear it from him.
Was he willing to pay you?
$10,000.
$10,000 to lie and to say that you were collecting ballots for Ilhan Omar.
Yes.
Liban Osman is featured prominently in this video by the right-wing disinformation group Project Veritas, led by James O'Keefe.
This video is one of the first of its kind. A man self-incriminating himself, bragging about all the illegal ballot harvesting that he does.
Money is everything. Money is the key in this world.
Liban was campaigning this summer for his brother Jamarl Osman, who won the Ward 6 city council race. He admits it looks bad, but says 2 different videos posted on Snapchat were taken out of context and edited together. In one from August, he's throwing shade at the skeleton campaigns of his brother's 11 opponents, stating a basic truth in modern politics. Money matters.
So I was just, saying, like, if you want to run a campaign, you got to have money, and you need to have an office, and you need to have an employee.
Numbers don't lie. Wajida gaarigayga waa.
The thing is, like you said, they splice 2 videos together. And on top of splicing 2 videos together, they cut out part of the segments to give context to what he was talking about, meaning his brother's campaign. So we saying money don't lie, money don't lie. So right here, the unedited video reveals the comments were clearly directed at his brother's 11 opponents in the Ward 6 special election, many of whom were operating shoestring campaigns. Omar said he had not previously met with Project Veritas. Well, I just let him hear it. Let's hear from him.
In the other video from July, Liban is picking up ballots at the request of voters, he says, many of them elderly. Something that, because of various court decisions, was permitted during a 5-week period this summer.
You took that envelope and you just put it in the mail.
He's basically saying, I was helping the elderly and everything else, but that was legal.
The mailbox, the blue mailbox.
To vote for Congresswoman Community Act.
Did you ever give people money?
I want to get to the community activist part. That's the part I'm interested in. So Project Veritas said they had an insider. And I want to go to the comments of this insider. And I want to go to the comments now of that same insider that Project Veritas apparently say they had. The story has fallen apart entirely from the beginning to the end. Let's keep going.
Money
No.
in exchange for a vote?
No, never.
Did you ever tell them how to vote?
No, never.
He says he explained all this to Omar Jamal, the controversial community activist who is the star and so-called insider for Project Veritas. He says Omar told him Project Veritas would give him $10,000 to change his story, to say he was offering cash for people to vote for Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, a federal crime.
And he was like, why are you defending Ilhan? You know, why are you defending Ilhan Omar? This is not after you, and this is not after your brother. This is for Ilhan, you know, and you should get the money. So I told him, you're insane, and I walked away. He was setting me up.
And he may not be the only one.
Project Veritas has received an explosion.
All right. So, again, that's his part. He's like, look, this is not what's true. Project Veritas is making this up. That's his point. I was offered $10,000 by Omar Jamal, Project Veritas, to say that I was involved in this kind of ballot harvesting scheme. Omar Jamal, insider for Project Veritas, this is right here. In a 25-minute video in Minnesota-based Somali American TV program that provides news information about Somali broadcasts online via social media channels, Omar Jamal speaks in Somali about the election fraud story. Jamal specifically alleges that he thinks a clip that purports to show a ballot harvesting paying $200 in exchange for a vote was instead a demonstration of how that process allegedly work. This is not an example of systemic voter fraud seen in real time. Quote unquote. Project Veritas leader James O'Keefe introduces the political video as an explosive piece of tape that shows a man buying a registration form and an absentee ballot from a voter, giving him quote unquote pocket money of $200 and expecting to collect his ballot when the voter receives it. In the Somali American TV program, the show's host, Ali Harer, asks Omar Jamal whether he met anyone who received cash in exchange for a vote. He replies, no. No. The people who James O'Keefe have in this video are saying that what O'Keefe is alleging is false. It's false. There's
a piece of tape.
There's also this man seen accepting $200 to vote for Ilhan Omar, the exchange happening along Cedar Avenue. But sources tell us the man is actually a relative of Omar Jamal's, who thought Jamal was giving him $200 to send to another relative in Somalia.
I was shocked, and I did talk to him.
Think about that. The guy in the video is like, no, that's not true. This is going to a relative. Fell apart. utterly, entirely debunked. Now, O'Keefe, of course, says this is not true. These guys are just making it up. Everybody who was a part of this is basically lying on me, James O'Keefe. It was full of shit. It was full of shit. Now, yes, this is further discrediting of James O'Keefe, and hopefully, which is probably not going to be the case because the right wing doesn't give a shit about whether it's true or not. However, whether the right wing gives a shit about whether it's true or not, this was aimed at Ilhan Omar. Meaning this entire attack piece, this entire hit piece was aimed at her credibility. And then Donald Trump basically attacking her in the Somali community. But Tulsi, why am I bringing up Tulsi? This is the video that you guys just watched.
They're in the ballot box. Now, while some states have prohibited vote harvesting.
All right. Where did I get that from? Right here. Let's go back one more. Ooh. Project Veritas offers further evidence on the need to ban ballot harvesting. It is not a partisan issue. It's been abused by both Democrats and Republicans, including in North Carolina and California. Please help telling your congressional representative to pass our bipartisan bill 825. 825. Poor form Tulsi. Poor form. People can make the argument that this is not attacking Ilhan Omar. And maybe it's not. But let's be honest. You're invoking Project Veritas. You're invoking Project Veritas in the context of a video that was attacking Ilhan Omar. Even Sean Hannity recognizes it. And in attacking Ilhan Omar, you reference that video and you reference your own video where you are talking about the exact same thing that Project Veritas is talking about. The exact same group that you reference that is attacking Ilhan Omar in regards to the thing that you're trying to outlaw. The point that I'm trying to make here is the fact that Project Veritas is full of shit means you probably shouldn't have referenced them, especially when they're attacking Ilhan Omar for something that you cannot validate. You do not know if it was taking place. You do not know if it was real. You don't even, meaning if a BS organization is coming out attacking a Democratic congressman, especially somebody who's a lefty or whether they're a lefty or not. I mean, take political affiliation away from it. But definitely, if it's sketchy, if it's bogus, and if you think that there may be any level of ridiculousness, full of shitness to this, then maybe you shouldn't reference it in pursuit of pushing your own bill. Is it possible for you to push your bill without referencing a bullshit organization? Because I hate to tell you this, the fact that this gets debunked weakens this. Your push is undermined by referencing something that just got found to be full of shit. And even if it wasn't found to be full of shit, maybe you should have had a bit of pause in that, just because of the organization in and of itself is not necessarily the most credited. They tend to be a disreputable organization and known for pulling shit like this. So yeah, poor form Tulsi. I'm not going to say you hit or attacked or bashed Omar, but it will say referencing Project Veritas while they attacked and bashed Omar and tried to undermine her credibility. There's a distinction there. I'm not quite sure if it's a huge one. Like, share, and of course, subscribe. Thanks all.